G'day traders, welcome to wrap up of Tuesday the 20th of March. So another one of these grinding days to the upside. We've been getting quite a few of these at the moment. The fact that we're still sitting very high on the dailies, although approaching this particular day, again a bit like Monday, before we had the cash market open, the European market, which opened 6 hours before the US, really started to sell off. So we saw this bit of a sell off in the pre-market, got below that 1400 level. Even at the open we started to continue down, so definitely started off looking for a selling opportunity, even though we're in a buyer's market, thinking that these sellers might have a bit of a go. But basically it bottomed out here and that was the end, and once again it grinded all the way back to making a green candle for the day and sitting right back at its highs. But in saying that, you've got to start looking for sells around here. Then it started to pull back, and by the time it's pulling back and this predictive's crossing back to the upside and looking for any sort of pullback move, the market was already right back at its highs and making new cash market highs. So of course that discounts any selling. So the fact of the matter, no damage done, but just those sellers were squashed out pretty quickly. From there we pushed up higher and started to get a pullback here. So as the predictive crossed down here, you can see it's right up here. It's very shallow. So we're looking for something a little bit deeper, and ideally in this sort of area, what you want to see is the market push up a little bit higher, then get this sort of pullback. So you expect this 1, 2, 3 point pullback. That's very normal, but it'd be nicer to get it up higher and have that pullback matching up or coming down and meeting with kind of like these cash market highs or these swing highs that we made earlier. They'll act as support. Then a really great place to buy from and for the market to head up. But where it was, we hit a bit of sideways movement before that pullback, and then it came back into this very sideways area. So it's hard to predict when it's going to start heading back to the upside. Eventually it did. From here we start to get the predictive crossing to the upside. Looking at 5-minute buys around here. I mean, the only thing going against this area, but for those watching the market, the Russell was having a bit of a sell-off and it was sitting at its lows round about this stage. This market pulled back, the Russell pulled back all the way to its lows. But by the time they started to head back, the Russell and everything was heading back to the upside. So this area here, looking for buys, that predictive cross to the upside here, it was too close to the high, made it a void entry. But what you can start doing is, if you believe it's going to those highs and further, try putting an order in 2 points from the high and still get that entry, even though the actual crossover came too high. Try to get a bit of a pullback and then a surge back to the high. In the end that didn't happen either. Like 1, 2, we would have been looking around about this area here. Fantastic area to buy from, but just never quite pulled back far enough. From there we pushed on higher, and you can see we just kept having these little pullbacks higher, little pullbacks higher. So unless you're getting on back earlier on in the trend, it's very difficult to start getting these buys later on. And basically we just had this one uptrend for the day, and you can see we had 1 pullback, 2 pullbacks, 3 pullbacks, 4 pullbacks, and a 5th pullback. So it's getting very extended. But anyway, 1 minute chart. So you can see here, this is this power point which we come flying down towards. That ended up holding, and it was, apart from the very last power point of the day, it was the only lower power point hit. Okay, so we're definitely in these buy markets where the buyers aren't even giving the sellers a chance. That they're pulling back, not even getting back to those power points, and then boom, strangling them and taking them back up higher again. And that's been happening all day long. And again, it's hard to get these setups when we just got this grind up. We want to see multiple directional movements to be really confident in what we're looking at. But I mean, this pullback here, this is probably the best area of the day. Again, like I said earlier, the other markets weren't completely in agreement, so it made it a little bit difficult because the Russell was pulling back so hard at this stage. So to get on this area here and have confidence in the market pushing up, a little bit hairy at that stage, but then again they really started to push to the upside, and then away they went. Eventually we broke to the upside here. Okay, so this was a fairly solid resistance area from that pullback, and then from there that's where it broke higher. Eventually we got up to the yellow. So all momentum all on the one side, all with the buyers, and then we're having this typical kind of sideways movement which we're getting in the afternoons. Also in a decent market where the buyers aren't so in control, this sort of area here, as far as the sell-off, after having all this pressure to the upside, eventually a lot of times the sellers will have just a bit of a crack at the end, just because the buyers are getting rid of their positions, and quite often you see power plays like this work well at the end of the day. but not in this particular case. Again, the buyers came in and took back control really quickly. So that's a wrap up for Tuesday. We're back on Wednesday and see what these markets want to do, and hopefully we'll start to see some of these sellers come in. Speak to you guys soon.